Hey, it's Christopher, and doing the Your Boy Zach thing, but without being Zach. Apologies to Zach. Ripping off Abe in Your Style. But I'm doing old comics, you're doing the new ones. And this is, hopefully fits in with the Move the Needle stuff, which is reviews of old comic books. And this is an Elseworld. I don't know if DC still does these. I haven't bought any recent comics, so I don't know if DC is doing these, or even if J.H. Williams III is drawing comics anymore. I haven't heard from him or anything, but this is actually one of his first comics, and he worked with Howard Chaykin for this Elseworld comic called Son of Superman. It's just kind of an alternate reality, and this is another fantastic comic that I wish we could have comics like this. But the premise is simple. Superman has disappeared. He's been gone for a while, which is not a new concept. We've seen that before. But he is got a son with Lois Lane, who's, you know, Lois is doing the single mom thing, and it's the future. So we got like future classrooms and that sort of thing. You can tell it's like 1990s future. Or maybe this was made in the early 2000s, so let's see. Is there a publishing date here? I can't see it. Oh, 1999, okay. So you can tell it's the 90s future because there are computers in the classroom that still have monitors that look like this. But, you know, we're not going to hold that against you. This is, you know, J.H. Williams is such a fantastic artist. I mean, you know, look at this. This is, obviously, this is supposed to be you know, a scene where somebody is being kind of tantalized by Lois Lane. You're showing that Lois has still got it, but she's a force to be reckoned with. And, you know, it's, again, there's a lot of dialogue, but we see, you know, what Wonder Woman is up to, and Batman. Everyone's wearing black. The Flash. So they've got kind of this different version of the Justice League going on where they're all old. Anyway, it's really great because you see young Son of Superman doing his thing. And I mean, again, this is an example of what I love about comic book art versus, you know, it's its own language. People try and always, you know, hey, I've got a movie script, maybe we can turn it into a comic book. But anyway, my daughter's in the playground. So take a moment. Make sure I can see where she is. Be a responsible father. Yep, she's fine playing with a friend. But anyway, the art is fantastic. And it does things visually that you just can't get away with in movies. I've seen movies try and get away with that, like Ang Lee doing stuff with the Hulk, and it just didn't work. Came off as drawing attention to itself. But a comic book can do all sorts of fun things. I love how J.H. Williams does these, you know, panels outside of panels to really emphasize a moment. You know, it punctuates the end of a scene. It's a great thing you can do visually with comic books. Anyway, again, gorgeous art, and here's two things I really love about this comic. One, you know, there's actual, like, Son of Superman. Superman's son is actually manly, and, you know, he's doing the teenage thing, you know, and they're talking about their parents, and say, Leah, your mom wrote that movie? What can I tell you? It's not that, then what? It's just hard to imagine my parents making love, let alone telling the world about what it's like. You know, they're kind of being grossed out by their parents, but then he moves right in for the kiss. And she doesn't reject him, you know, she's like, wow, okay. But then, of course, and this is another thing I love about comics, look at that lettering. That lettering says it all. You know, you would hear the car crash in a movie, fine. But, you know, that becomes part of the art. And look at, you know, these circles, you know, are used to tell the story instead of just sticking to the the square and rectangle panels, you know, there's this kind of like romantic moment that's really emphasized in a pop art way, using this visual design sense and these, you know, these letters, and it's fantastic. So really beautiful work. And then the other thing I love about this is, you know, the superheroes have kind of, you know, they're trying to deal with a world that's kind of evolved without them, and you know, there's stuff going on. I won't spoil everything, but Lex Luthor's in here, and Batman's kind of taking crap for doing his Batman thing, and anyway, but the amazing thing, a little bit of a spoiler. So Superman is actually, he's disappeared because he's being kept in stasis by Lex Luthor, and Superman's son actually figures this out and rescues him. And there's this great moment, let's see if I can find it. A lot of kid sounds going on the playground here. Lois is reunited with Superman, and it's this really romantic moment. And they're a family again. And then this becomes a comic book, you know, involving some kids throwing a fit on the playground. It's not, it becomes a family comic, like an actual healthy, functioning family, not an angsty, dysfunctional, everything is terrible, life sucks type of thing. And there's a lot of hope in Superman coming back and being the father, and again, I won't spoil it, but you know, there's a whole getting the band back together with the Justice League, and it's phenomenal. So I definitely recommend, if this is in print anywhere, if you can find it digitally, find it in print if you can. Go to a comic book store, because honestly, comic books, it's all about the pacing, the writing is about turning the page. And I just don't think that works as well digitally. So, you know, find it in print, turn those pages, really take your time with the art, because these are beautiful works of art. J.H. Williams is phenomenal, always has been. It's not his best work, but only because he was still growing. He's grown as an artist since then, but it's still fantastic work. So check it out. Son of Superman, DC Comics from 1999. One of Howard Chaykin's better jobs writing. I like Howard Chaykin. Sometimes he's not always coherent. Sometimes I'll pick up a comic by him and go, okay, that was interesting. Didn't make any sense, but he's always interesting. But this was one of his better narratives. He did a really great job on this. So check it out, Son of Superman, and I'll be back with another comic review. Oh, and I should also mention, this is the defunct YouTube channel. I can only post videos from my phone, and once this phone is broken or I get a new one, I'm locked out completely. So find my new YouTube channel and subscribe to that and hit the notification bell. All right.